Yummy, 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 I've got food in my tummy. Yummy, 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 I love food. But what do you do when you eat too much? You're just so full you feel like you're going to explode, because even though your body said stop eating, I'm full, you kept eating and you got fuller and fuller, and then you felt like you were going to explode. Is the human body designed to eat too much food? And the answer is probably no, because that's why we have a mechanism called I'm full, yeah? And if you listen to your body, is it possible it will tell you, stop eating, Rowie, I've had enough. But have you ever been in a situation where the food's just been too good? You're not hungry anymore, but there's a big bowl of chocolate in front of you, or there's a big egg and you think, I just have to eat the whole egg because it's just so yummy. Or you've got you might have gone to a buffet and there's so many things to choose from, and you just think, I've just got to keep eating. And then there's times of the year, there seems to be Easter, Christmas, birthdays, special occasions, where the behavioural scientists will suggest to us that on their study and research, that we tend to eat more when we're with other people. Now, you might be the opposite, because there are some people who don't like to eat with other people, they like to eat by themselves, and that's when they eat the most food. But it seems that when we are around a group of people who influence, or everyone says, oh, we'll have an entree, and we'll have a main meal, and we'll have dessert, and we'll have some cookies afterwards, or some chocolates, or then we'll have a port, and it just goes on and on and on, and it seems to be an influence of other people. So what do you do? First of all, if you know that there's a possibility that you could eat too much, because you'll want to, or you have eaten too much and now you feel sick or you feel bloated and you really don't know what to do, right? I think I'm going to get fat now because I've eaten too much food. Well, the beautiful thing about the human body, and isn't it an amazing machine? If you overload it, and if you're healthy, fit and strong, so all your mechanisms, all your systems in your body are working really well, your body will automatically try and get rid of the excess food. It doesn't want to carry around too much food. And we have some storage systems for food, and it's interesting that some of those just don't expand. So for example, if you drink too much alcohol, or if you just drink alcohol, it's a macronutrient that your body will prefer to burn, or it has to burn first, because there is no storage system for alcohol. So the challenge with that, of course, if it's Christmas or Easter or you've had a big night, if you've drunk a lot and you've eaten a lot, your body will burn up the alcohol because it's a toxin with no storage system. So all the food that you ate will very happily be stored. Now, there's a couple of storage systems. One is the carbohydrate storage system, which is 0.5 kilo in your muscles, in your liver, glucose for your brain. And once that storage system is full, your body says, nah, no more storage here, we have to do something else. So your body will then turn carbohydrate into fat. And that's probably not a challenge if you've got an enormous amount of storage for fat, which we have, yay. But the challenge with the excess storage of fat, which a lot of people are unhappy about, is that it ends up on the back of your arm or on your belly or on your backside or your inner thighs, and too much fat for some people is not comfortable, doesn't look nice. And from a health benefit, if you're carrying around excess weight from fat, because it's pretty much your dead weight, it's not doing much to add value to your body, then it becomes unhealthy. And it can break your body down, you can become weak, you can become sick because you're overweight. So that's probably not something you want to happen. But the beautiful thing is, if you eat too much, your body will say, well, what can I do to get rid of this? So the first thing it'll do, alcohol, it's going to burn that first. Carbohydrate will go to your storage system of 0.5 kilo. Protein goes into your amino acid pool, and if you break a nail, or if you've got to grow some hair, or if you've done a workout and you've broken down some muscle tissue, protein's a rebuilding product. So your body's made of protein. Where do I store protein, Rowie? In my body. That's what it's made of. Fat cells, we have an unlimited storage system. So we literally have billions of them, and somebody's counted them, and apparently there's 40 to 50 billion. And we can keep getting fatter and fatter and fatter. So the challenge is, if you keep eating too much, if you keep overloading your body with too much food, is it possible that all the systems break down, including the I feel full system? Because a lot of people will share, if they've been overeating, that they actually stop feeling full. They just keep eating even though they probably aren't hungry, but that mechanism isn't working very well. Could it be a really good idea to stop that from happening? Could it be a good idea that even if every so often you eat too much food, that you do something about it? So Here's a really cool thing. Your body will burn alcohol first. It stores carbohydrate in your 0.5 kilo of carbohydrate storage muscles, brain, liver, protein in your amino acid pool, fat in your fat cell. But what if you burn it all up before it has a chance to store? So let's just say you've eaten too much and it's Christmas. What a great idea. Why not go and do some exercise? Do the thing that burns up fuel and not go for a walk, because that doesn't burn up very much fuel. The challenge with walking, unless you're really unfit and get puffed when you go walking, is that it doesn't burn very much energy. It burns calories, it burns energy at a very slow rate. Now, if you've eaten too much or if you've drunk too much alcohol, you might not be capable of running, sprinting, punching, kicking, but it's probably the best thing to do, yeah? Because the more energy you burn, the more calories you get rid of before they can turn into fat. And ultimately, the human body has this amazing capability to turn all of the macronutrients into fat into one way, shape or form. So alcohol doesn't turn into fat because it is we can't store it. But the food that you eat when you've got alcohol in your system can convert to fat. And fat is already fat. So fat goes to the fat cell. Carbohydrate can end up in the fat cell if you eat too much. Protein, it's a more of a difficult process because it's pretty hard to eat a lot of protein. It's got a high satiety rating, makes you feel full. But if you eat too much protein, your body will convert it into fat. So what do you do before it turns into fat so that you don't, it's not easy to get the wobbly bits, squishy bits, fatty bits off your body. It takes a fair bit of effort. It's not that it's not possible, of course it is, but it takes some effort. So what do you need to do if you've eaten too much to make sure that what you've eaten doesn't end up on your bum as a squidgy bit? So of course the best thing to do is exercise, and exercise at a high intensity, because it's not the exercise that makes the difference when it comes to fat on your body. It's that your body becomes a fat burning machine, or a machine that prefers to burn fat because it's healthy, fit and strong. And that doesn't come from plodding along, it doesn't come from doing 50% energy exercise, it comes from high intense activity. When you get really fit, 100% effort, get really puffed, get really fit, while you're exercising, you don't burn any fat, you just burn carbohydrate. But when you're resting, and most people rest for a lot longer than they exercise, you end up having a body that prefers to burn fat when you're resting. So that means that, yes, if you've eaten too much, you will probably need to have a rest at some stage, but why not go out and do some high intense activity straight after you've eaten too much? And you might have to wait for an hour or so until you really don't feel so bloated. But burn some energy up, get the blood sugar out of your bloodstream. One of the big challenges, of course, with high blood sugar levels, high blood fat levels, is that once you've got glucose running around in your bloodstream, those big molecules bang up against your arteries, bang up against the hoses in your body. High blood sugar levels cause damage to your arteries, which then turns into cardiovascular disease, which unfortunately is a very major health challenge, or a big health challenge in the world today. And they're all things that come from too much. So of course, if we do too much of anything, it's going to be a challenge. But every so often, if you've had some yummy food and you didn't stop eating because there's a big bowl of chocky there and you just wanted to have another one and then another one and maybe another one, well, how about go do some exercise to burn it off? The reverse of that is if you know you're going out for dinner, or you know you're going out to somewhere, or you're going to be doing something where there's going to be great food, how about go and do some really a high intense activity before you go out to eat? And one of the interesting things about when your body's busy doing metabolic changes inside your body, you tend not to feel hungry. So if you know that you're going to be doing high intense activity, while you're doing high intense activity and directly after you've done some high intense activity, it's very rare that you want to eat food. You're not hungry. When you're getting ready to exercise, it's very rare to think, I think I should eat this big chocolate Easter egg and then I should go out and do some high intense activity. Very rare to be in the middle of an exercise session at high intense activity and think to yourself, oh, I might have a chocolate, I'm really hungry, while I'm sprinting. And then as soon as you've finished, your body is so busy doing so many other things that your hunger mechanism tends not to be even activated. And it tends to be a little bit later on that you start to feel hungry. But if you've done high intense activity before you eat, what that means is you do high intense activity, then sometime down the track you have something to eat. And it's possible that and here's the really exciting one, you might make better decisions about your food. Because when you do high intense activity, you produce brain-derived neurotropic factor, which is fertilizer for your brain, which means you think more clearly, you make better decisions, and you actually drop off rotten old brain cells because you've created new ones. When you do high intense activity, you create new brain cells. So is it possible that if you're healthy, fit and strong, there's a whole heap of things that might work better? Number one, it's unlikely that you'll eat too much because your hunger mechanism and your full mechanism are working properly. So you'll eat when you're hungry and you stop eating when you're full. And I'm going to use that as an example because I love chocolate, I love food, I love to eat food, but I have a very specific full mechanism. When I'm hungry, I'm really hungry and I really want to eat food. But when I'm full, that's it. So you can put my favourite food in front of me. So I'll pick something. I love chocolate, yes, but let's say Italian gelati, let's say yummy hot chips, let's say chocolate biscuits. I have lots of favourite foods. But you could put any of those in front of me when I'm full and I'm not interested because I'm full. Now, having chatted to a lot of people where that mechanism isn't working anymore, it seems that happens when you eat too much, 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 and then that mechanism gets broken. When you're unfit, when you're unhealthy, when you're not strong, when your body has wasted away, all of the things that keep you healthy, fit and strong don't work properly anymore. Which is why I'm always so excited this is probably my favourite quote now, look after your body so your body looks after you. If you're really fit and if you're really strong, is it possible that your body will tell you, Rowie, you're thirsty, have a drink. Rowie, you're hungry, have some food. Rowie, you're full, stop eating, it's enough now. Rowie, you're tired, go to sleep. Your body has some amazing ways of looking after you if you look after your body. So for the short term, there's of course exercise before you're going to go out to eat food, exercise after you've eaten food. If you've eaten late at night, what a great idea. Maybe go for some form of exercise activity before you go to bed so you burn some calories off and speed up your metabolism a little bit, because obviously when you lie down in a warm room, that's when your metabolism's at the slowest. Interesting thing about that though, just as a take note, I asked this question once because I like to ask questions, of course. There's a lot of talk about don't eat late at night. Because your body slows down when you go to sleep. And that makes sense, I get that, because when you're lying down, your body doesn't require very much activity. But I've asked, this is the question that I asked, have you ever gone to bed at night with smooth legs, for example, because you've just shaved your legs, or you're a bloke and you've just shaved your face because you had a shave to go out for dinner, for example, and you wake up in the morning and your hair on your face has grown, or as a woman, you've got prickly legs now. And the question I asked was, how much energy does it take for your body to grow hair? Like overnight, you've got smooth legs in the night time and you wake up in the morning with prickly legs. Surely that requires some energy. The other interesting thing is the neuroscientists suggest that your brain cells do the most regenerating, the most neurogenesis happens, and neuroplasticity when you're sleeping, because your body needs to be in a rested state to be able to rest and recover and recuperate is what I'm trying to say, and supercompensate. So your brain is really working the metabolism of your brain is working quite hard while you're resting because it's recuperating and regenerating. And of course, that's when our muscles grow. That's when our muscles get stronger. When you're lifting heavy, when you're working out, the actual art of, or the act of lifting breaks down muscle tissue, puts us into a catabolic state. It's when we're resting that we go anabolic. It's when we start growing, recuperating, recovering, and supercompensating when we're resting. So probably the big message is, whatever you are going to do to your body, why not ask this question? Is what I'm about to do to my body, is what I'm doing to my body, is what I've done to my body, making me healthier, making me fitter, making me stronger mentally and physically? And that's why I think eating the foods that you love is so important, because mental health isn't just as important as physical health. So who cares if every so often you eat too much food? That's probably my big question. Who cares if every so often you go to mum's for dinner and she gives you a huge big dinner and you eat too much, or it's Christmas and a barbecue and you eat too much, or you go to a buffet and you eat too much? Is it possible that that's no challenge at all, because your body will, number one, heat up a little bit to burn it off? That's the cool thing. And I always use the example, if you go to the movies and you eat a big bag of lollies, if you've got a body that needs to get rid of excess calories, you'll probably wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and you'll be really sweaty because your body temperature is heated up a little bit to try and burn off the excess calories. So in the short term, your body will look after you if you've eaten too much food. If you eat too much and go and do some exercise, your body will look after you even better. If you know that you're going to eat too much because you're going to mum's for dinner or you're going to a buffet and you go and do some exercise beforehand, then your body will look after you. It's the ongoing maintenance of all of those systems that makes sure that your body will look after you. But if you let the maintenance program deteriorate, if you continually put too much food in, if you stop listening to your body, so you just keep eating and you don't do any exercise and your body wastes away, rots away, gets unfit and gets weak, is it possible then that unfortunately your hunger system stops working, your I'm full system stops working, your thirsty system stops working, your I've got to get some sleep stops working, and your whole body just breaks down? So how about look after your body so it looks after you? If you love to eat food, why not eat food and enjoy it? And then if you love food, wouldn't the ultimate thing be then to have a body that's going to burn up everything that you eat? So I always ask the question, why not turn your body into a food burning, calorie burning, fat burning, sugar burning, Easter egg burning, chocolate burning, chip burning, gelati burning machine so that whatever you put into it gets burnt up? But the really cool thing there is that if you've got a body that's working effectively, the I'm full system will work too. And wouldn't it be nice that even if somebody puts your most favourite food in front of you, but you've eaten enough food and you're full, your body says, nah, next time. I'll really enjoy that ice cream next time. I'll really enjoy that piece of chocolate next time. But right now, I'm full. And if you're full and then you go and do some exercise to help burn up some of those calories a little bit quicker. And there's, of course, two parts to that. Have a big engine so that your body requires a lot of fuel. And then every time you put your foot down, because you've got a big engine, you burn up a lot of fuel, you burn up a lot of calories. So big engine, put your foot down, turn your body into a food-burning, calorie-burning machine. And then if you eat a little bit too much, or even if you eat a lot too much, your body will burn it up. Food, yummy food, I love food, yeah, 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 I love food, woo-hoo-hoo.